So, you need to connect SailPoint to Okta, right? It sounds simple enough, but hold on. Right out of the gate, you've got a pretty big decision to make. And this choice, it's going to define the security and, honestly, the simplicity of your entire integration.
And here it is, the big question. Are you going to go the traditional API token route, or are you going to opt for the more modern, super secure OAuth 2.0? That's the fork in the road we're talking about, but don't worry, we're going to walk through both paths so you can figure out exactly which one makes the most sense for you.
Okay, so here's the good news. No matter which path you end up choosing, everybody starts at the exact same spot. So let's just quickly knock out that base configuration together first. It's super simple, really. Just 3 things to fill out. First, give your connector a unique name. Next, add a good, detailed description. Trust me, you'll thank yourself for this later. And finally, assign an owner. And boom, done. Now we get to the interesting part. All right, basics are out of the way. And now we are at that crossroads I mentioned. Your choice between an API token and OAuth 2.0 really just boils down to a classic trade-off: simplicity versus security. Let's break down what that actually means. So let's get real about this trade-off. The API token path? It's definitely faster, no question, but it relies on Okta's own proprietary thing, called SSWS. The risk? Well, think of an API token as a master key to your entire building that never expires. If that key gets stolen, an attacker has the keys to the kingdom. Now, OAuth 2.0, yeah, it's more work to set up, but it's the industry standard for a reason. It uses short-lived, temporary key cards that only open specific doors. If one of those gets compromised, the damage is way, way smaller. That's a huge difference. Okay, first, let's take a ride down the express lane, authenticating with an API token. If speed and getting this done like yesterday are your top priorities, then this is probably the path you're eyeing. You'll see this acronym, SSWS. So what the heck is it? It just stands for Single Sign-On Web System. It's basically Okta-Jones' special recipe for these API tokens. The main thing to remember is that it's an Okta-only thing, not a universal standard like OAuth that you see all over the web. And the process is, well, it's about as straightforward as it gets. You just put in your Okta URL, click that little radio button for API token, and then you paste in that SSWS API token you got from Okta. That's it. You're done. Pretty quick, right?
Now let's switch gears and explore the other path, the secure route, using OAuth 2.0. Now, I'll be honest, it's more involved, but this is the industry standard approach if you want a truly robust and locked-down connection.
And yeah, I know, this can look a little intimidating with all the extra fields, but trust me, we're just going to break it down step by step. It's totally manageable, I promise. So, we start with the connection details. You'll enter your Okta URL just like before, no surprise there. Then, for the grant type, you're going to select client credentials, which is easy because right now it's the only one supported. And finally, you'll pop in the specific OAuth 2.0 token URL. That's just the address SailPoint is going to use to ask for its secure token. Next up, you'll see a field for scopes. What are scopes? You know, the easiest way to think of them is like a permission list. You're telling Okta exactly what your SailPoint app is allowed to do. Things like, hey, you can read user profiles, or you can manage groups. It lets you get really granular. So for this step, you'll just enter that list of scopes, each one separated by a space. Below that, you're going to paste in the JWT header. JWT just stands for JSON Web Token, which is a really secure way to pass information back and forth. This header is just a little snippet of JSON that tells Okta which algorithm, like RS-256, you're using to sign the request. Okay, next is the JWT identity. You'll enter the audience, which is typically just your Okta URL. But now listen up, because this is absolutely crucial. The JWT issuer and the JWT subject fields must be the exact same value as the client ID of your application in Okta. I'm going to say that one more time. Both the issuer and the subject have to be your client ID. This is a super common trip-up point, so please double-check it. And right here is probably the single biggest warning in this entire process. If Okta gives you a private key in the JWK format, it will not work here. You have to convert it to PEM format first. Think of it like this. JWK and PEM are like 2 different file formats for the same key, kind of like a .docs and a .pdf. SailPoint needs to read the key in PEM format, so a quick conversion is sometimes necessary. So this brings us to our final configuration step for OAuth, encryption. This is where you'll paste that full private key text.
The one that, of course, must be in that PEM format we just talked about. After you paste that in, you'll enter the password that's associated with that private key.
And hey, here's a quick tip to save you a potential headache. The field here in SailPoint is called Private Key Password. But when you're over in the Okta interface, you'll probably see this value called the KID or Key ID. Don't let that throw you off. They're the exact same value, just with different labels.
And just like that, you're through the hard part. Whether you chose the speedy API token or the secure OAuth 2.0 path, you've reached the final step, and it's the same for everybody.
All that's left to do is just give your configuration one final review, make sure everything looks right, and then go ahead and hit that Save button. And that's it. Your connection to Okta is now complete.
So you've done it. You've established a secure, functional link between two really powerful systems. The technical task is finished. The real question is, with this new connection in place, what amazing things are you going to build next?